There you go. So, welcome to the Mesh Live Coding, everyone. Today, we'll be digging into transaction building. So, Andrew will be leading us today, and he'll be showing us how to build a transaction, a very, very basic transaction like sending something to a wallet address. And then, after that, we'll be increasing the complexity by interacting with a smart contract. We'll be building on top of what we have built in the last couple of weeks. And it is up to you, Andrew.
Okay, thanks, Arsha. Right, we're good to go. I'll start sharing screen.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Okay, just let me know if that's popped up.
Yes, yes, I can see it.
Brilliant. Okay, hey everyone, boy. We're gonna start off in our repo that we had. Well, we started with the last couple of sessions. So Harsha was working on this last week. We introduced the concept of hooks. I think we built this use artifact hook. What we're going to do this week is we're going to build a very simple transaction with Mesh using the backend transaction builder, which is one of the key tools Mesh provides. It's a really good bit of software. Before we even get into that, because we take it as a bit of a given, but most of the applications that we build at Gimbalabs is built using Next.js. And there's other applications you can use, but it does seem to tie in quite well with a lot of the blockchain software that we interact with, Mesh included. So I'm going to show off a little really cool part of Next.js, which speeds up the whole development process. So what we're going to be doing, we're going to be doing a basic transaction, but we are going to be building it on what you would say call the back end. We're going to be building it on the server. So the user um, who uses the transaction isn't going to see what's actually happening. They're going to have like a button that's going to be presented to them on the screen, but they ain't going to see what's how the transaction is built. Now, in the past, with web development, you would need to build out a whole server for this using like there's plenty of options, Express, something with Node.js. You'd need to build your own server. What's great about Next.js is that they have, with the app router anyway, is that you can spin up a small script very quickly and interact with it as if it is well, it is a server. Next.js provides its own server, but with all the boilerplate code. So totally different to how I originally learned web development, but it's really cool. So we're going to build something like that really quickly just to show how that works. And then we're going to add in um, building a transaction with it. So, right, anybody, before I carry on, anybody who's good with Zoom, how do I hide this daft bar at the top?
Oh, you just like stop worrying about it. It hides itself.
Oh, it doesn't. I am going to worry about it. But anyway, we'll just
I
carry
think I
on.
think it's because you're on Linux.
Don't be knocking Linux, Emmanuel.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
Right, okay, right. I'll just shut up and carry on. Right, um, so we'll start with this hook. No, we actually build out the server transaction first. So this is our file structure, which you might recognize from last week. And our component, we've got a navigation bar and a spend artifacts component. This is what's presented on the front end. And then we built out a hook called use artifact. And what that was doing was interacting with our mesh wallet that the user connects to the application with. So what we're going to do, this hook is already obtaining the user's UTXOs and a collateral UTXO upon when the user connects their wallet. So I am going to send these UTXOs to a little backend server component. It's going to read the UTXOs and it's going to spit a little message back to us, which is fundamentally how we're going to build a basic transaction. So I've got a folder set up here on the side, and that is server. So I'm gonna create a new file in there, and let's just call it example. It's going to be ts example.ts. It's not a front end React component, so it's just ts for TypeScript. Key part of this, we're going to use a use server tag on the top of it. It is critical to how it works.
Hey,
We've got
I have a
wins.
small question here, Andrew.
Yeah.
I thought any component where you don't say use client becomes like automatically becomes a use server component. Am I wrong
Very
about
good
that?
question. There is something. No. For what we're doing, I think you need to specify use server. And I think what you might be referring to is another good thing about the app router is if you build a component and you don't specify use client, then what that does is use server side rendering. And
Mm-hmm.
that's slightly different. What that's doing is it's building unlike how traditionally web development has worked, it starts building the page on the server. Don't tell me quite how it happens. It's really clever, but I think that's what that refers to. Whilst a use server script is like writing out a server. It's like writing out an Express server.
Ah, I
Far
see.
more
I see.
simplified.
Okay. Okay.
In fact, no, it's probably more like writing out a back-end endpoint, API endpoint. In fact, that's what it is. It's an
Mm.
endpoint. So but I believe you need to specify it. I could be wrong, but it's just the way I've always done it, and it works.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah.
Um, okay, so we've got our friend Windsurf rigged up here. I'm just going to start typing out actually. I don't go async function. Async. So, sorry about my spelling, it's terrible. TX. It's gonna take some UTXOs. Better specify the type. I can actually import the mesh types. UTXO. Yeah. So that's coming from Mesh SDK core.
So will it be taking an array of UTXOs? Okay. Yeah.
I can build it either way, but let's say yes for now. Return UTXOs. Thank you. So what I'm doing here, just the object, this server function will take an array of UTXOs. It's just going to simply take the first UTXO in the array, obtain its transaction hash, and I'm going to return a little message from the server that'll say, well, this is the first UTXO, and then we'll just put that on there. Really, really simple. But what's actually going to be happening under the hood is, well, it's replaced lots of traditional web development processes. Okay, now we're going to want to interact with this uh, server function. So to do that, we're actually going to use the hook that we built last week, the use artifact hook, because we've already got UTXO into it. So let's just create a bit of space there. and we will create a function const and what are we going to do? Hang on. I'm gonna have to create a state actually. So we'll call that message because we saw that the function is going to return an object with the message key. So once the hook obtains it, then I'm going to use state to set it into a state, and then I can interact with it better on the React front end side. So obtain message equals. That is actually driving me mad. Because I can't get rid of that. Sorry. We'll need to export. They don't need to put that away in, but I will just so it's good practice. Okay, so we're in the user artifact. We're in the user artifact hook. We're going to obtain the result of that function, but we need to send the UTXOs here that we've obtained from the wallet to the function. So we need to import. Can't remember where it was. There we go. It's done it for us. Example TX. In fact, no, we don't want to. We're going to do that. We're going to call it. We're going to destructure the response, which is going to be the message, and that's pretty much as simple as we need to do it. I'm not sure. It might.
I think you need to await.
Yeah, we're going to have to build a little function, I think. Get message. Get message.
Why are we building another function, Andrew?
Because we're interacting with a server, it's
Uh-huh.
asynchronous. So if you
I,
just try and push that as it is, it'll pull an error.
I think you could just add await on the line 14.
No, because
The
this isn't the use artifact hook itself is
no,
not.
with the use effect.
I'm not putting it in a use effect. I shouldn't put it in a use effect. The use effect is just being ran once we connect the wallet. I'm going to set it up to a little button, so it needs to be separate. I'll show you.
No, uh, um,
You
no,
can.
not what. Can't we wrap like the use effect wholly as an async? Like in the line 14, that line 14, if you just add async,
No, I'm not going to put it in the use effect.
no, like async is going to catch.
Whilst I'm using the same hook, I'm setting different functions in the hook. If anything, I should probably set up a new hook. But
But I thought you so there is a so again this is again my understanding. I feel
Yep,
like we're all like
yep.
slightly like different. The way we work is slightly different. But in my head, I thought you have the use artifact hook, and in
Mhm.
the use artifact hook, you use multiple use effects. For anything that's async, you use a different use effect.
A use effect. I would generally use a use effect when I want something to appear after the initial render. And why we need to use that often with interacting with the blockchain is because we're relying on data from the blockchain. This use effect is set up so that it functions once the user's connected their wallet. But what I'm doing here, I'm not setting it up as, I'm not building it as for it to function once the user connects. I'm going to set up a new function that the user will fire from the front end. It'll be like a button. So
Oh, I see. Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll carry on, and if it doesn't work, then you can throw it back at me, but it should work.
Fair enough,
Right,
fair
okay.
enough.
Anything. Wait. Message. Okay. Snap message. Message. And then what we're going to do is we're going to return that function, get message, and the message
Okay.
state. Okay,
Hmm.
brilliant. So now let's go to our front-facing component. We've got spend artifacts. So I'm probably going to take out that little map because it takes up a lot of screen space. And as soon as
Hmm.
you connect your wallet, it all appears.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to do that, but let's just create a little button, or maybe even just a little H2 tag at first. Actually, yeah, we'll call that get message. But again, using best practice, I should build a little handler for this rather than call it directly because that might lead to some problems. So actually, the first thing I need to do, so this is the front end component returning the hook, but also we were just in the hook and now I'm returning get message and message. Okay, so I need to import them as well. So get message, message. Okay, so let's call a little handler function. Handler, handle get message, that's fine. And we need to put in the UTXOs. In fact, no, hang on a minute. Best way of doing that. Should save us. Right, so go back to the front end. Right, so I was just putting in a little if statement there to check that it's got the UTXOs, that UTXOs are available when we try to fire the function. So get message. Yes. Okay. So we're going to set up a little button on the front end that's now got an on click. So when we click on it, it will fire the handler function, which will fire the get message function from the hook, which will then talk to the server, hopefully get a response. Once the response comes back, the hook will set the message, and hopefully it will appear underneath the button. So let's give that a whirl. Oh, I already have that server running. Let's try it again. So npm run dev. really, really annoying. Can you see that black bar on my screen?
I do. Yeah, we see the black bar
You
and
see the
like
black
everyone
bar?
attending like the sidebar.
Yeah, the whole super annoying. Okay, localhost. Okay, so if I press this now, I should get an error message. Let's just check. Well, actually, nothing happens. That's fine because we handled the error. So let's connect the wallet.
All right.
Okay, so I've got, I think that's my pre-prod wallet.
Yeah, it
Uh,
says test T.
yeah. So if I press guest message, there we go.
It's the
This is
first
the first
UTCO hash.
UTCO hash. Brilliant. Okay, fair enough. That looks really, really simple. But what the beauty of it is, I'm just going to refresh this and we'll do it again because you do have to understand the brilliance of what's actually happening here. So connect my wallet, do that again. Now, if we just watch, I've got the console open here.
No, no, you're in network.
Yeah, so you can see that. So it's gonna and press guest message. There we go. It's actually sending an API call to the server. And there it returns the object that we set. This is the first UTCO hash. Then the hook handles it and prints it out on the front end. In the past, you would have to create a whole server just to get something as simple as that. But ultimately, what we're going to be doing, we're going to be creating a transaction using this exact process. And to do the transaction, we need the UTXOs. As we create more and more complex transactions and say interacting with a smart contract or minting NFTs or tokens, then the transactions become even more and more complicated and we need to put more into them. But ultimately now to create a simple transaction, all we really need is the user's UTXOs. Plus one other thing, we need somebody to send it to. So if somebody wants to post me a test address, then I will build a transaction to send some test data to you.
Yes, send it to the Pluto script address itself and log it there, whatever you're
Oh,
sending.
brilliant. Do you know what that is just off by heart? Is that
Uh,
written anywhere? Have we saved it?
it's right on your screen. Pluto script address.
Oh, look at that, eh? Anybody would think we're professionals. Okay, that's brilliant. Yes, so in fact, that's even better, I think, because we're finding it out in the hook, we can probably build it. So in use artifact hook, where do we get that?
So you know what, Andrew, I think we should build a different hook because I'm not even sure what the use artifact hook is for at this point.
Right, fair enough. Okay. Oh no, is it not querying the address of the
That's what I thought, but if we are building a transaction with it, then it's not querying the address anymore, or not querying the address, sorry. Uh, I
is it?
think currently it's just querying our wallet, not the
Oh yeah,
address.
yeah, fair enough. Well, that's interesting. We got that. Okay. Um, okay. So you want me to build out a whole new hook to do it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's go with that then. So we'll start with the hook since we're in that, and then we'll go the first transaction. Let's put it first.
Use
Yeah.
first transaction.
Yeah. Well, absolutely right. Sorry. Yeah. Yes. And because it's not returning React component, again, it's just a TypeScript file. What are we going to need? So we're going to need some mesh types because we're going to be obtaining, and we're going to need some mesh methods. I'm going to cheat and just have a look because I can't remember. So we've got some React imports, but the key things is that we're using the use wallet hook from Mesh SDK React, and we're using the UTXO type um, from Mesh Core. So those are the things we're going to need. I'm just going to copy and paste them. My apologies, but it will speed it up. Okay, and oh, Windsurf's getting ahead of itself. I will type it out, I think. Although
I mean,
I will try to speak as I'm doing it. So export const use first TX. It's not going to take anything because it's a hook, although hooks can be built to take an argument.
so, Andrew, would you say hooks are just like reusable logic for the front end?
Couldn't have put it better myself. Yeah, yeah, I guess that's a good way of putting it. Yeah, yeah. I'm not so good on the old naming, but yeah, no, it is. They're a way of providing. You've got much less potential for errors if you're using hooks.
So
Um,
that's basically you are saying, hey, instead of directly putting that logic in the page, I'm going to separate it out so that I can use it in multiple pages. Or when do you use a hook, like just you personally?
well, I mean, I guess if you're wanting something to run in the background, then and you want to obtain some data, it's safer to use a hook. Whilst technically it's still running on the front end, it is kind of it's because it's not returning anything directly to what's being rendered on the screen. You've got more options with it. You've got a bit more. Um,
But it is returning like functions and
yeah,
like,
it is, but it's not returning a React component. And
yeah,
why,
yeah,
when
yeah.
you're building things with React, why you often get so many errors in it, they're rendering errors. Because in a React component, and have we got our React component open? Okay, we should actually just change that to a capital. They should begin with capitals.
Oh, you're right. React components
Yeah, so that's probably going to
are
mess it up in a minute.
capitals.
But
You're right, you're right.
so a React component itself returns HTML.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then
HTML, I think it is TSX.
okay, yeah, yeah, you're right. That's a better way of putting it. But ultimately, what it boils down to is it is HTML. Um, and once that renders on the screen, it renders in particular order. So if you're trying to interact with a server or an API inside this, unless you've got everything ordered absolutely correctly, then it often then and even then, when you add the concept of state management to it, it becomes very tricky
Mm,
because the order matters. But when you use hooks, whilst the order still does matter, you've got a lot more leeway because it's sort of running in the background. And then once you've got your data, then you can return it to the screen. So it
mm.
just gives a lot more options, flexibility to a developer.
Yeah, yeah, makes sense, makes sense. I have one more question here in this very page, Andrew. You have this function handle get message, right? And you
Yeah.
just put the get message function here.
Yeah.
What would happen if we completely get rid of handle get message and directly use get message in the
So in theory, you could call it like this. Just get message. And that would work. But I know React development best practice, you're best off putting in a handler. Now, a really
Mm.
simple function like that, that's not going to pull any errors.
No, but why is it different from when you use like a handle function? Like why is the syntax different? Why is there a bracket and then that equal to forward sign and all of that? Because on click, if it's the handle get function, you just put handle message or handle get message, right?
Yeah, very, very good question. And I should be able to give you a technical answer for it, but I can't.
No,
I,
but do you have to
I
use
think
this?
I think
Yeah,
the
you
thing
should do it like
is
that.
I think you what Andrew did it like he's wrapping it into an anonymous function of what is actually happening in the handle get message. So for example, you passing that get message might just fire the get message maybe when the page renders.
Yeah,
Um,
Emmanuel's on the right. He's right, what he's saying. Um, we
yeah,
could
but
go.
like get message also renders when the page renders, right? Like handle get message is also fired when the page
No,
renders.
no. It
No.
only fires once you press the button.
Oh, no, no, no. I meant like Yeah, when you press the button. So even get message renders only when you press the button is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, yeah. Um, and yeah, you have to put it as an anonymous function. There is a
What
reason
is an
for
anonymous function? Like
all that,
when you
really.
is
I'm
that
not,
syntax for like an anonymous function that
uh,
that bracket for equal to
yeah,
forward?
that's
Okay.
it. It's got no name.
Oh, that's what an anonymous function is, just like no name.
Yeah, it's got yeah. It means you click it and then a function just fires, and that inside the function body you're running another function which is get message.
I see, I see. So can you remove like the anonymous part and just put get message without the brackets and see if it
Let's
works?
just try and see what
Yes,
happens.
Yeah,
it
really
would
quickly. I just
work.
want to see.
It,
And
it
remove the
would
brackets
work
after get
without
message.
Right,
calling the function.
there we go. It won't work.
No, no, no. Remove the brackets after get message. You're not supposed to
No,
put
that
brackets.
definitely won't
Yes,
work.
See, it
yes,
worked.
Oh, maybe it will.
it work. Yeah.
Well, let's just see. We're going into some React stuff here. Okay, connect the wallet. Actually seems to like it. Oh, it worked. There's a
Yeah, I
reason why
had a
you shouldn't
feeling
do
that was
this.
like an extra step. Okay, cool, cool.
Oh, actually, no, of course it's in a hook. Yeah, I
I
don't
think
need to
the
put it because it's in the hook. I don't need to put it. I don't need to wrap it in a handler because it's already wrapped in a handler in the foot on in.
Yeah, 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 exactly. That's
Sorry,
what
right,
I
yeah, I've
thought.
gone a bit over the top there, but that's fine because it's kind of good practice anyway. So it's actually wrapped in this.
Yeah, yeah.
Although no,
Cool.
because I've got that as an async function. I think best practice is the way I had it. I do.
Oh, so oh, you wrapped it because it's an async function.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
but the wrapping didn't do anything for the async, right? Like it didn't say await, get, get message. Like it.
Although it can't handle that on the front end anyway. Um, do you know what? I think we should just carry on with the mesh stuff because I
No,
think
yeah, I
the
think we
React
should. Yeah,
code
yeah. I
is
think we'll figure this out afterwards.
yeah, yeah. Okay, right. What was I doing? I was going to set up a new hook. There we go. So if we're building a very basic transaction, we are going to need some UTXOs to spend. So we've got this set up in the use of artifact hook. So let's just have another quick look. What we do is we use the use wallet hook from React, from Mesh React, and we can check whether the wallet is there and whether it is connected. And if those are in the case, then we can use another hook um, to get the UTXOs. Oh, sorry, a method from the wallet hook to get the UTXOs. So we're ultimately we're going to set this up again. So we're going to use this use effect concept. We are live coding, so I'll write it out because that's just feels like I'm cheating otherwise. Right, okay. So it's not going to take anything. We do need to return that be connected wallet, but we need to bring them in first. So we're gonna add const. And there we go. Okay. And then we're going to want to fetch the UTXOs. Is that right? I think that actually looks right. Oh, go on, windsurf. That'll be fine. We don't want that. So as per last week, when we set this up, we're going to check whether the wallet is connected and the wallet is there.
Mhm.
Once we've got that, we will use one of the methods that is on wallet to get the UTXOs, and then we will need to set that into a state. UTXOs. Go, and this is why we need to import the UTXO type from mesh because we need to specify what that's going to be. And we're going to get an array of UTXOs whenever we connect the wallet. So that's great. Connected. Why is that? What have I done wrong there? I've set something wrong there.
So,
That's your dependency list. You have to have that in, but I've got a syntax error there, I think.
no, I don't.
Oh wait, hang on. No, it's not a. What does it return?
So, my question is like the connected and wallet, are you supposed to put them inside the hook or outside of it?
Sorry, I've losing my marbles here. If connected and wallet, where's connected set? Oh right, of course. If connected, that's right. Um,
So just move the connected and wallet outside of the use effect. You'll be fine, I think.
yeah, just set that over there. Good shout, thank you. Set that too far down. Okay, right. So we return the UTXOs back when the user connects their wallet. And what we're also going to do, we're going to fire this off to a new function on the back end that's going to build a transaction for us. Maybe we should go and do that now and then come back to the hook, because then we can import it. So I'm going to go back to my server and I'm going to create a new file. I'm going to call it call it build first TX. Case. Okay, we're probably going to need to import UTXO again. And we're going to need to import transaction builder as well. I don't remember how to. Mesh TX builder, that's the one. So, in fact, what we'll do, export async. TX. That looks great, but there's a very key thing that I've forgotten to do. I need to specify it as a use.
Use server.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And it would, if I don't create it as an async function, then it will pull an error. You have to do that. Okay, so inside this function, we're going to set up a new, Windsurf's getting ahead of us here. Okay, but it's absolutely right. So we're going to set up a new transaction builder. So a new instance of the mesh transaction builder. In fact, I don't think that's quite right. So we're going to consult the mesh documents. Here we go. So I import mesh transaction builder from SDK/core. We've done that. Notice how in their docs they've got a block cross provider. That is because it's under the assumption that you're going to need to interact with the blockchain on the back end. For most transactions, you probably would need to do that, especially if you're interacting with a smart contract or you are minting, because you're going to need to query the chain before you can actually push the transaction. But on this occasion, I don't think we're going to need to query the chain on the back end because we've got everything that we need. We're just going to create a simple send ADA transaction with mesh. So all we need is the user's UTXOs, and we're getting that from the hook. So we will carry on with this. So we'll have a right, yep, okay. So first TX. TX is going to be a new mesh TX builder. I think in terms of what we need to set in this, let's just go back to those. We're not going to need the fetcher. Set the bows.
Yeah, we don't need the
I
fetcher. Yeah.
don't think we need it. Do we? We'll try
Yeah,
anyway.
but I think the fetcher is like mandatory. Fetcher or submitter, one of those are mandatory.
You think?
Yeah, yeah.
Just
I
for a really simple transaction? I'm going to
I
try
don't.
without because if I do, then I'll need to set up a block Blockfrost instance
Yeah, so
Yeah,
so
yeah, let's see.
fetcher is basically indexing the blockchain for information. Submitter is actually submitting a transaction to the blockchain. What is the other one? Verbose is just like giving information. And there is one more, right, Andrew? So fetcher, submitter, and
Evaluator,
evaluator. Evaluator it
more
basically
tooling for
checks
the
if your
dev.
transaction is
Yeah.
like a valid transaction or not.
But yeah, but the clever thing we're doing here, and this is why I showed that initial function, is that we're not going to be submitting on the back end either. We're just going to be building the transaction hash, and then we can return that to the front end like we did with the message for my eternal wallet to actually sign the transaction. And this is the beauty of Mesh for me. I think
Yep.
it's just an excellent tool for that, which is why I don't think we need either, but we'll see. We'll carry on. I'd take Manuel's point because pretty much anything we do, we're going to be interacting with a smart contract for most things that you build in. This is just a very simple example. Um, okay, so in fact, oh, there we go. So now that Mesh is using Hydra, there's actually a few more things that you can put in the instance. I
Oh,
won't go into
yeah,
that too much.
I think everything are like they're optional. Like you should see the class params. I think they're optional, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Six, there are
they've
six
all got.
optional fields. Okay, yes.
Yeah, they are all optional. So
Okay.
even verbose is optional, but we'll just for the sake of yeah, we'll leave it on.
Yeah.
Okay. So then how we use the transaction, this is the nice little pattern that they have here, and we'll use it exactly the same way. So we've set up the instance, and then we're going to create a const called unsigned TX, and then we're going to await TX builder. And this is where we start, like if you've ever seen Cardano CLI, this is where we start specifying how the transaction is going to work. And we will need to build something similar to that. But what we actually need to do is we do need the UTXOs from the front end. And so there we go. This is where we send the UTX. This is what the function itself takes in UTXOs, which is going to receive from the hook. It's actually going to receive from an API call from the front end. So const unsigned TX equals, and it's going to be, we want TX. Okay, it needs to be await. What is, okay, so UTX, select UTXOs from UTXOs. And then I guess this is another really clever part of Mesh in that for a lot of Cardano transactions, you can specify exactly which UTXO to spend. But for us, again, for simple basic transactions, Mesh can do it for you. So we're just going to pass it the array of UTXOs, and then it'll say, and we'll basically say, hey, Mesh, you choose the best way of doing it, and it'll select an adequate UTXO to spend. So we don't need to worry about that. In fact, I don't even think I need to specify the change address, although we might do. We'll get onto that. So we've selected the UTXOs. We need to select where it's going to go to. Am I doing wrong there? TX out. Okay. It selects UTXOs from. Doesn't like that. Or I should do that. So we're going to choose where to send it. And as you said, we're going to send it to. We're going to send it to our smart contract address. And then we can query that after. But just hover over TX out. So it requires more than one thing. It needs to know the address, but it also needs to specify what we're sending. We're only going to be sending Lovelace. You can send Lovelace and tokens, but we're only going to be sending Lovelace. Is that the way to specify?
So
I
it
think
says amount. Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think that address will be in a string. That's why.
Yes, you're right. Sorry, I'll put that in a minute.
Yeah.
Um, okay. So
So that's the format.
that's how we
Limited
need to
one.
specify the tokens that we're sending. So you need to put it in square brackets, an object in the middle, unit Lovelace. Most all other tokens you wouldn't be able to put Lovelace, you'd have to put in the policy ID of the token.
No, no. Unit is policy ID plus the asset name.
Yes, thank you. Thanks, Sasha. That's absolutely right. So here we go. We need to put in that as a string. Set square brackets. It's, it's, oops. Sorry, it needs to be an object as well. So it's a square bracket and object within that. Quantity. I'm sorry, I would be doing a larger screen. It's just Zoom has stymied my developer experience with this silly bar. Whilst it's embarrassing that I can't know how to knock it out, really embarrassing. We can all have a good laugh at it afterwards. Okay, it doesn't take an integer. That also needs to be a string. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So quantity, obviously, with Lovelace, it's by so one ADA is 1 million Lovelace. Okay, you marry
Yeah.
that up. So there we go. So that's where we're going to be sending. No, let's send 10. Come on, I'm being a bit tight there. We'll send 10. So we've specified where we're sending it. Mesh is going to choose the UTXO of the user's wallet to spend. We then need to complete. I think that's all we need. I don't think we need to set the change address. We'll see. If not, then
Uh,
again, we'll set that from the hook.
so I have a question. So if you don't set the change address,
Yeah.
would the default address be the address we are signing from?
Well, that's what I think, but we're going to find out.
Yeah.
We're going to find out. Um, okay, so then we're going to return the API call. Um, we'll set it properly as an object. So tx hash, and then I'll be able to destructure that. Once, no, I don't need to. Windsurf getting ahead of itself. Okay, so the server is ultimately going to take a list of UTXOs, build a transaction for us, and then it's going to send back a transaction hash.
No. Uh,
Yeah.
we've the unsigned is going to be returning. The unsigned is like a CBOR blob of of the unsigned transaction.
Yeah.
Uh,
And it's a string. Yeah,
it's
that's right.
until when it's signed, then it returns a hash.
Sorry, yeah, okay. I'm going to be returning the C ball. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we're going to be signing it on front end. So let's go back to the hook.
Hey, Andrew, quick question. Why did you create like a object there? Why can't you just like return like the string instead of
best,
creating an object?
just best practice. I like it. I like to specify, and then
Okay.
I know what I need to destructure.
Okay, makes sense.
That's just my own developer point of view.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
no
for
right or
sure.
wrong way there. I could just return, as you said, the C board directly.
Makes
Um,
sense. Makes sense. Yeah.
yeah. I've named it, so then I know what it is. That's just yeah
Yep, yep.
how I do it. Okay. So inside the hook, then fetch the UTXOs. We've got that. We're going to build another function. Build first GX. Import that function first. Okay, so it's importing that function from the server. Okay. Magic, which ultimately what it's returning is an endpoint. What it's importing is an endpoint. Let's we destructure tx hash. So there we go.
But Andrew, please, like, would it not be nice for us to not make that naming confusing because it's not returning the TX hash
Right,
yet.
fair enough. You're absolutely right. Yeah, Seaboard.
Yeah, maybe we can
Sorry,
just say or unsigned or
Seaboard unsigned. Yeah, Emmanuel is absolutely right. That is confusing. So unsigned Seaboard. That isn't going to work like that. I need to put that in a wrapper. This is what we were talking about after, and I will do that on the hook. So async, um, yeah, build, put that, and then I'm gonna put that in there. Oops. We need really before we can do that, we need to check that we've got UTXOs. We'll probably handle that on the front end. Actually, I think that's probably a better way of doing it. Okay. Oh, look at that. Yeah, windsurf. Sometimes I wish it wouldn't get so far ahead. Okay. This is where we're going to be using mesh again here. So now that we've got the unsigned transaction, we are going to be. Oh, that's not right, is it? I don't want that one. I want to sign it. So sign tx equals await sign tx unsigned cball. And this is where our mesh cleverly, once that unsigned cball is returned to the front end, the eternal wallet that I'm connected will pop up with a box for me to sign it. I don't quite understand how they do that, but it's a really clever bit of web development. But we'll see. So we go, and then we also, once we've signed the transaction, we need to submit it. Oh, yeah, that's when we should use TX hash. That's right, Emmanuel. We should use TX hash here now.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then we can probably let's just return that as well. No, I return that there. Let's sorry, set TX because we're in a hook.
Mm.
TX actual. There we go. So we need to set the state for that. Okay. So we're going to fire the transaction. We're going to sign it and submit it, technically on the front end in the hook. And then that's going to return a transaction hash, which we're going to set into a use state. And then we're going to return that from the hook. So we're going to fire TX builder. No, what am I in there? Okay, I'm in the wrong thing. So we need to return the UTXOs from the hook. We need to return transaction hash, and we also need to return via TX. Why will you?
Actually, you dropped
It's
off.
in the use effect.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
right. Thank you.
So Andrew, I'm going to make you the host just because my internet is being sketchy.
Okay.
So just in case.
Okay, no worries, Hash.
Yeah.
Okay, right. So we should have everything we need now to build out a little component. For the sake of writing, we'll build out a new component and then we'll just probably import it into spend artifacts. In fact, yeah, okay. We'll build a little. Should we build a whole new component? This is going to be a TSX because it's going to be returning um, from HTML TSX code. Uh, use next. We're going to import the hook that we've just created. We'll import. Actually, what else do we need to import? Sorry, just bear with me. I'm just going to check the page. So we got at page spend artifacts. Where do we set the? Oh, so the mesh wrapper's there. Spend artifacts.
Uh, are we not just creating a button to say and some input to specify? Okay, yeah, we already did that. Okay. Yeah.
Some stuff. Okay, right. So the reason why I'm returning UTXO to the front end is that this transaction is only going to work if the user's wallet is connected. And in fact, we'll put that in as well. But let's just go back to the hook. So we're going to put connected in there as well. Okay. So
Do we have to send connected to the front end, Andrew? Would it not function exactly the same even otherwise? Because the hook is saying, hey, it has to be connected for the hook to work anyway.
it's a good question. Let's try it either way.
Yeah, for sure.
Why have I just done with my? Oh, that's really bad. React etiquette. It's supposed to begin with a capital. Your front end components should begin with a capital. So first TX. So we're going to check that. In fact, no, we're going to have a little H1. Little message in there, just so the user can see it. So we're going to go UTX those. And
Oh, I see. So the button, okay.
that's it. And I'm not actually. Okay.
Connected.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, so if those are true, and we can return a button. Uh,
Close the
yeah,
brackets and then
and button. Don't actually need that. Hey, come here. So,
I mean,
Okay. Right. And then we want to be able to display the transaction hash. So that we'll put that in a little P. So, two minds whether I should have knocked windsurf off, but there we go. Okay, so let's give that a test, see what happens. So if this, there'll be two steps to it. Once we connect the wallet, we should, oh, what's going on here? We'll start up the dev server again. Here we go. Aha, I know why that's not appearing because I've not imported it anywhere. Right, so we need to put that in the page.
And also, should you not connect it?
Oh, do I need to put that in use effect? Hooks, use effect, UX, effect. Have I not used use effect in there?
mm,
Weird.
oh,
So where exactly is it saying there is an issue? Uh, it is in uh, importing use first.
Oh, there
Yes.
we go, classic. So I've not specified. So this is where server-side rendering comes
use
in,
client.
like I
Yes.
mentioned before. So it needs to be a use client script. Do that again.
Okay, we have a different. Okay.
Okay, so here's the little message we've got at the bottom. No idea why it's giving me huge space, but there we go. So once I connect the wallet, the button should appear. It does. Okay, now we're going to submit the transaction. Hey, one message. That's what's the
Let's see what the issue
waiting.
is.
Change address. Ah, we do need to set the change address. Now that is
Yeah.
interesting. Okay, so let's do that.
Well,
So we need to get that from the hook. So UTXOs, we're going to get the address as well. So we'll get the address. Well, get address, and then
Change. I think it's
oh,
change
I've not
address.
set that either. That's no good, is it?
I think it is get change address.
Get change address.
Not on the front end, is that right? I thought it was.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah. It's there.
Is that changed?
Yeah.
Okay. Set UTXO. That was another ever waiting to happen. That. Set,
You didn't set that up. Like we'll have to
no.
create that. Yeah.
Okay. So what's happening there in the hook? When we connect the wallet, this function is going to fire. So it's going to set the UTXOs from the user's wallet, and it's going to set the address, which should take away that error that we've just had. Oh, no, that's the one thing I've not done. I've not actually set it in the transaction builder. So just like in the
Exactly.
mesh documents, which we should have followed in the first place, and manual hash, we're quite right. So we need to set change address here. So the transaction builder is going to have to take that as an argument, and we're going to have to send it. So there's a few things I haven't done there. I'm getting ahead of myself. So when we fire this transaction, we need to send the address. And then we go to the function itself, and it's going to have to take address as an argument. And now I guess we can just put string for that. Yeah. And then we'll put that in there. Set.
Uh,
Is it just change address? Change address, address. Okay. I think that's everything we need. So try that again. Okay, so we connect the wallet, submit transaction. There we go. So then
Beautiful.
pops up, and then I'm sending 10 ADA.
Yay, we built our first transaction and
Transaction
signed it.
hash. So then if we copy that, and then if we go and look, um, what's the
Reprod Cardano
scan
scan.
reprod? There we go. We've got that on speed dial because I'm always there so much. Oh, that doesn't look right. Here we go. Scan.
Well,
Okay. Right. So then we can paste that transaction hash in and we can see it. Oh, it's not reached yet.
yeah, there you go. We can see it. We can see that it
Not yet,
doesn't
not
exist.
yet, not yet.
Not yet. Let's just have
No,
a double walk
go to your
through it.
wallet and check the transaction.
Yeah. Let's go to the wallet. Uh, Pre-prod is
Go to
notoriously
click
slow.
on transactions. Send funds.
All right,
Where
well,
is that?
I think that's just gone through now. So let's try
Yeah,
that
it should
again.
work.
Refresh.
No, I'll tell you what,
No.
let's just check the
Do we have the transaction hash right?
I think is yet to get reflected.
yeah. Let's
Yeah.
just query the address
Yeah.
because that will definitely come up.
Okay, we have that. And check the transactions inside it. So it doesn't have any 10
Hmm,
ADA
Not yet.
transactions
okay.
yet. So what is this red? I feel like
Um,
send funds and 49 seconds ago. Is it not done?
that's
I think it's done. It's sent already.
Yeah, that's gone through. So we're looking at, let's just have a quick look at the transaction while we're waiting for that to go through. It's selected a number of inputs there. I'm not quite sure why, but it has. So when we talked about this part of it, where
Oh, wait
I'm
a
not,
minute. Remember, oh, actually, yeah, this should work. Yeah, yeah. No, actually, yeah, you're right. You're right.
it's definitely
It's got
worked.
submitted.
So
It's all.
I've not selected the UTXO myself. I could have done, but I've allowed Mesh to do it. So Mesh has decided it needs to select four of my UTXOs. Not quite sure why it's done that, but it has. Let it do its work. And then in the outputs, it's sent 10 ADA to the address that we specified
Yeah.
there. And then it's returned the change to me in a new UTXO. Perfectly
Hmm.
fine. It's just not appearing on here at the moment.
I think it should reflect
There
now.
we go.
Yeah.
And there it is.
There's the 10. Oh, beautiful.
There's the transaction hash 22070. Let me just check that on front end. There we go, 2270. And that's it. So that's our first basic transaction. And so what we've done ultimately is we have connected a wallet using our front end mesh connector. And from that, we have ascertained the UTXOs attached to the wallet and the address of the wallet. We have sent that via an API call to a server inside Next.js, Next server. We've built a simple transaction to send 10 ADA, spending a UTXO or at least one UTXO from the UTXO we specified, and we have also specified to return any change to the address, the sending address. So we've built that transaction, which gives us a CBOR. We send it back to the front ends, and then we say sign transaction and submit transaction. And that is done through the Eternal wallet itself. So it's just really clever bit software. There's a lot going on there. And I think in the past, it was a lot more complicated. So Mesh is one of the most seamless transaction builders out there. I think it's an excellent job that they've done.
Yeah.
So that's me. I'm out. No, I'm only joking.
No, okay.
So,
Before
how long have we
you
been going
completely go
there?
out,
What time did we
we have
start?
15 minutes left. I have a couple
Yeah.
of questions here. So
Yes.
when you are setting uh, the memory, the front end memory, what are they called? The use states. When you are setting up the use states,
Yeah.
we set them up as, say, for example, array of UTXO slash null, right? How do you manage the errors whenever something is null? How do you manage the errors? How do you set yourself up? You get what I'm saying?
Uh,
Like, did I confuse you?
what do you mean? So like, if there's a problem, so like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
like
So
the
if
first time
something is
round.
null in our use state, we have used multiple use states. For
Yeah.
example, in the hooks, we used a bunch of use states, right?
Yes.
Um,
Um, yeah, there could do with some error handling in here. I mean, from the front, we'll start with the front end part of it. Let's just get rid of that was right. So first of all, I'm not setting any. I'm not. I don't need errors here because what I'm doing is I'm specifying. I'm using an operator to check that we've got the UTXOs and connect and that the wallet's connected. So we don't need to put any errors in here because React is handling it for us. So if we don't
oh,
have
I see.
UTXOs and it's not connected, then the button will never appear. Now, but obviously, then when we fire the transaction, there's several errors that could happen, and it did, and we should be handling that. So a better way of doing it in terms of adding to it. So at the moment, we return an unsigned CBOR. Okay. But what we technically we could return, we could also return an error boundary in case there's a problem. So we could put this in a try catch. Um, I think,
Oh, you put the whole unsigned transaction in a try catch? Oh, I see, I
yeah,
see.
and then we catch any errors.
Ah, I see, I see, I
Uh,
see.
okay, like that. We won't console log it. We'll so
Oh, so you just return the error in the catch block.
yeah. So look, I can return.
Or maybe set error.
I'll set the error on the in the hook.
Yes, and it gets
So
returned to
error
pattern.
E. Okay. And this is, well, to be honest, I use this pattern quite a lot just in everyday web development. Um, in the real world, let's go to the hook now. Actually, that will return a couple of errors. Oh, TypeScript errors there because we need basic function. So now I can destructure that first build transaction that we've just been in to have unsigned CBOR or error. Okay. So then I can say if uh, error, and I will set an error here. Const error set error, thank you. If error sets error error else, I shouldn't do it in S else actually. It should be
I think what if you just left it like that? If error and then you return after that. After set error, you just
because it's
return.
giving me this now. So as a I should really got to destructure error if uh,
Right. So why is the if
hold on.
block even like affecting unsigned? Uh,
Uh, get myself all
Could you?
confused here.
What's happening?
If, uh, Seaboard. Okay, so we'll give it two instances there. So it depended on what we get back from the server when we fire build first transaction. We're either going to get back an unsigned CBOR or we're going to get back an error, and then we're handling both. Okay, so if I
Wait,
just
why
go
do you? Oh, this is used for. Go. Could you go back to the last page? Where were you?
hang on, I'll do that in a second. Hang on,
Yeah, yeah.
because I've not structured it. Have I console an error. It's doesn't like that for some reason. I'm doing something not quite right there. I'm 100% sure.
Could you over what is it saying? Like type
Oh, sorry, what was that, Manuel?
like why is the linter, why is it not accepting it that way? Why is TypeScript not accepting?
I think it's just a type error. I'm not
Uh
100%.
yeah, could you like over on the error and let's see what's happening there.
Hang on a minute.
Yeah, and this one would have to be on the same line.
Then if it's using Windsurf there. Okay. Right, so I've got that set copy now. Let's look at the type errors. Argument of did not
Assign
set the
argument
type
of
set
type
state action.
empty object is not.
Oh, so error is an object and you put a string, right? Okay, that's fine. Um, uh,
I think
so so what you'd have to do is error dot message because error is an object with a message field.
I don't think it is.
Really?
No,
it's not
Okay.
assignable to type. Sorry,
no, I've just got that as that. E. I'm returning that. I'll tell you what. I'm returning error, so that should actually work. But maybe I shouldn't be returning it as error.
state action
I tell you what,
string.
I think that'll actually work as just a type error for the minute. Let's just we're going to take that out again, and we'll run it again. Just see what happens now, because the error should technically return. It shouldn't crash it.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm just reading this on Google. It says in JavaScript, error is an object
Oh,
with two fields. One is name and the other one is message.
okay, right. It is coming back as an object. E dot message. Okay, so it's message. No, catch.
Of type error. Give it type error. The parameter of E.
What? Yeah.
So return E, which is of the
E
type error dot message, I think. No? It's the other way around, no? Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know.
That's
Error is
interesting.
E.
That should be okay. You should be able to return what that's just it's catching what the error message is if there was a problem, and then I'm
Yeah.
returning that. Let's just return it as E. Of all the things I'd have a problem with, that was the least.
Why is the address being sketchy? Build first. Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't like it. Object error. If you meant to render a collection of children using array instead. It's because right, okay. So what it is, um, however mesh return their errors, it's probably
Hmm.
within some kind of object. Now, I imagine they've got types for it, but I don't know Is it like an error type for mesh? And then we know how to
Wait, so
destruct.
mesh doesn't provide the error type. The error type is the next thing. No?
No, because we're running this transaction. So that is a mesh function that we're doing. So if it fails for whatever reason,
Hmm.
it should return an error.
Oh, like that. Oh,
Now,
let me
but
quickly
it'll be
check this.
within an object, but we don't know what that object looks like unless I can import the error type. Um, so in that case, it's pulling an error itself because it doesn't know what it's reading. It doesn't know. It's not reading the object correctly, which is why it's pulling an error on the front end. Um,
Oh, I see, I see, I
Error
see.
e dot message potentially, but it doesn't unless I can import the type of the error. Then
Or
I
maybe you
know.
can just give it type any. Yeah.
Yeah, but even then, I need to know what
Yeah.
it's not.
You
I
you'll be
still
able to
need to
access this
destructure it.
one.
I still need to be able to destructure it, and I can't.
Yeah, just check this out, Andrew. I think they gave a clear explanation for it. I'm just putting the link in here.
Do I get? In fact, let's just see if I get an error on the server side. If I look in my terminal, okay, let's just connect the wallet again. We're just gonna. So because this function, the build first TX, is being run on the server, the log for it is inside my terminal in VS Code because that's where I'm running it from. So let's just submit that. So it's not actually, okay. So that's what mesh is returning because it's not returning an error. Right.
Mm,
Actually, I'm a little bit confused. Let's just cancel that off. We'd have to look into how it handles errors better, I think. Ultimately, we can get it to work. Um, and I'll take it out of the try catch for now.
mm.
In fact, let's just put that change address because that shouldn't change address. Just put that back in. And that error boundary shouldn't trigger at all now.
Yeah, let's
There we
see.
go.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, so we'd have to look into how we handle errors a bit more. There might be something in the mesh documentation. Let's have a look.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have like a mesh specific. I just put the link there, by the way, in the chat.
Oh, have you? Okay, sorry.
But they don't mention any specific mesh side error handling.
Hmm. Not even in the transaction builder, no? Where's the
No, I
checks?
don't see it.
I think the approach we took with the try and catch is we are on the right track because the try and catch would
Hmm.
catch every error thrown from the mesh library itself. This catch. So any error from the library will just um let us take it and throw it out to the user on the UI. So
Yeah, but it doesn't seem to give me. It would be nice if I knew what the errors, how the errors object is structured, and then I'd be able to return that in the
yeah,
hook, and then it won't pull the error on the front end. But yeah, well,
I
that's
think
So you
it's
basically want
basically
the structure of the error object?
I think it's
yeah,
basically React and TypeScript or JavaScript,
Yeah.
like JavaScript knowledge.
error dot
Yeah,
message.
yeah. So that's like a JavaScript. It won't be in mesh. Like just type, what does the error object look like in JavaScript or TypeScript on Google?
I'll
In
tell you what
Google.
we'll do before we won't return it. We'll just console log. Okay, console.
Yeah. So you can't console log objects, by the way, unless you break them down. It'll just say object, object, object. Remember?
Not even if
Try,
I.
try, try. Okay, let's try it. Actually, I think
Yeah,
that's a good
I
idea.
won't return anything. I'll just go away. We'll take that out again. Zoom. I'm going to write some reviews to Zoom. It's just stymied a developer. Um, right. Today. Okay. Right. So
Let's see what it console logged.
try.
That's it.
Get
Nothing
error.
happened.
Change address is not set. UTXO selection cannot be undone without this. Oh, right, okay. Tell you what. That's weird. So that doesn't appear to be with any sort of.
I think it's time up.
Oh, is it?
It's what?
Okay. I promise to do my homework on that and figure that out for next time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you won't get a chance because Emmanuel is going to take over next week.
Fair
Maybe
enough.
Emmanuel can figure it out and let us know.
No, the other thing is it's there. That's your message there.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Email address.
yeah, I'm sure it's fairly straightforward. Okay. All right. Well,
This was pretty good. Emmanuel, hey, thank you, Andrew, by the way. This was great. I had a lot of fun
yeah,
in
no
this
worries.
session.
I'll push the
Um,
changes to the repo so it's all set up
yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah. Do that, do that. And Emmanuel, do you know what you'd be covering next week? Maybe we can build the transaction to the contract that we deployed. What do you think?
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure.
Yeah,
Been
and you can directly
anticipating
use the
moment.
repo that we built. You can pull it and use it.
Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, I might not be convenient in handling some React stuff.
No, no, don't worry.
Um,
Me and Andrew will be here anyway.
yeah. All right.
All right. So, oh shit. Ah, fuck. So I kind of like lost my connection and came back, and apparently the recording stopped. I didn't even notice it.
Oh
Well,
no.
Oh,
you know,
wow.
well, it
How
is what
long do
it
you
is.
reckon?
We have about 30 minutes or 25 minutes or something. I guess we'll have to post that.
Oh no. Never mind, eh?
Oh God. Okay, fine.
That's
Well,
yeah.
sorry, Andrew. I would have loved to see a full session of you on YouTube.
Dang it. Oh man, I was looking forward to seeing it.
Oh shit.
Oh well.
No, but we
Oh
still
well.
have 30 minutes of it.
First
30
bit.
minutes of
Okay.
high quality content. There we go.
Nice. Nice.
All
And
right.
are you keeping a are you keeping a record of the sessions? Do you have like a book where we're just written down that we've done this one? Or I guess
So
a
I
YouTube.
am keeping a record.
Okay.
I mean, it's not a book, it's just like some Excel sheet that I'm putting a
Okay.
record about like Mesh and who is taking the
Okay,
session.
cool. Cool, cool,
Yeah.
cool.
So next week it's Emmanuel, by the way. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, been anticipating.
Yeah.
Nice, nice, nice.
Right. I'm
All
gonna sign
right.
off, guys. I'll speak to you soon.
All right. See you
Thanks.
guys.
See you
Ciao.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.